Greetings, ghouls, and welcome back to another talk about horror television. Tonight we're exploring a ruthless and well-done episode of The Hitchhiker. If nothing else, this one is certainly iconic. Tonight's episode is titled Face to Face. We're introduced to Dr. Christopher Hamilton, a renowned plastic surgeon, and a young woman named Nina. We follow both of their mornings in the opening credits. The doctor is lecturing medical students from the operating table. Nina takes a shower, gets herself all dolled up, and heads out. We see our man Paige Fletcher with an ominous intro monologue. One of the strongest aspects of this episode is the sound design. It's amazingly eerie. Nina walks into the doctor's clinic.
Look that lady's face!
The doctor comes in for a consultation. He reads her chart. She's recently had a full gender change.
Doctor, there's a pretty woman inside me. She's always been there.
She explains herself to the doctor. She's eager to have a series of cosmetic surgeries to look more feminine. The doctor asks her where she's heard of him. She found him in People's Magazine. We learn that she's a working makeup artist. She's done some work for commercials, and recently she's landed a job on a feature film. Super neat. She wants him to soften the jawline, raise the cheekbone, and shave her Adam's apple. The doctor tells her, in all women's magazines, they say the same thing, that the prettiest makeup looks like no makeup at all. And the same is true about his work. They move her to begin taking pictures of her face, a preparation for the surgery. When he completes the session, he's stopped on the way to his office by some tryhard who gets told to join the Peace Corps if he'd like to make the world a better place. The doctor has a little afternoon delight with one of his students, the pretty blonde that was eyeing him during his lecture in the credits. His wife calls and he shoos the pretty doctor out of his office. We cut to Nina enjoying herself, drinking some bubbly, talking romantically, and having a lovely night alone. A famous actress is visiting with Dr. Hamilton. She kisses him on the cheek. Nina wants to talk to Dr. Hamilton, but he jets out, leaving the task to the doctor doing his residency. Dr. Hamilton lives quite the lifestyle. That night, jazzy, seductive music plays. The doctor clips the bra off of the famous actress. He does a line of blow off of her boobie. What a playboy. He has a wild night of partying and debauchery. We cut back to the clinic, and Nina is getting the talk from the other doctor. She has questions, and she's disappointed Dr. Hamilton isn't there to answer them, seeing as he's the expert. The other doctor tells her that she can still postpone if she feels uncomfortable. She's not very happy with the idea of delaying the surgeries. She's been moving towards this day since she was 6 years old. She tells us about her childhood and how much she's been through to get to this point in her life. She told her parents they haven't spoken to her since.
But I got through it. Endured the ridicule. Lost most of my friends. Sickos always trying to make me. You have no idea the kind of people there are out there. Well, then came the operations. Skin grafts, rebuilding my flesh inside and out. Pain. I never knew there could be such pain. For so long. Waves of pain. But I knew that I had to be a woman. I am a woman.
This episode gets so deep, holy shit. We switch back to the party doctor. It's morning time now. He gets his wake-up call, and he's already running late. He's a complete mess. Eyes dark as a raccoon, half a zombie. Not the kind of state one should be in while operating on another person. He gives no Fs. He masks up and heads to the table. He almost passes out. His mind is very foggy. He gets the scalpel and slices her face. He drops the blade. Ooh, not good. We flash forward to Nina once her bandages are coming off. Of course, Dr. Hamilton is nowhere to be found. He sent his students to do his dirty work. They cut, and when her face is revealed to the doctors, they gasp. They tell her the healing isn't completely finished yet. They try to warn her, but she demands to see the mirror. She shrieks when she finally gets a look at her grotesque appearance. Dr. Hamilton is at the airport. He's going to Paris, but he spots a gorgeous lady and he's wowed. He decides to follow her up the escalator. They maintain eye contact. She heads over to make the first move. The woman admits that she knows who the doctor is. She has seen him in magazines. The woman wants to know what the doctor would do to her face. They joke, and he asks for her number so they can get together soon. She initiates a bit of footsie, rubbing her foot up his leg. His flight is called. It's departing. She sneakily hides his ticket under her magazine. He heads over to his gate, and he's surprised when he can't find his boarding pass. The woman waves it at him from down the hall, so he goes to retrieve it. She convinces him to take another flight, and they go to do their thing at her place, an empty airplane. He gets down on his knees.
You know what they say in all those women's magazines? The best makeup looks like
No makeup at all.
Yeah, so Nina, the makeup artist, back for revenge. We later see the doctor recovering in his bedroom. The one side of his face is really sliced up. She gets revenge on the doctor for being a coked up hedonist swine and butchering the face she's been working so hard to make right for all these years. I was pleasantly surprised by how this episode represented transgender women. I feel it did a much better job than many other shows of the same era, at least in my opinion. It would have been better off if they had used a real trans woman, but hey. I can happily rate this one a perfect 10 out of 10 for the series The Hitchhiker. This one is a classic. Nina was really strongly written. She had a few great monologues that made me feel very empathetic for her character. She was a real person that I really rooted for. This episode was interesting to me. I always enjoy exploring the subject of vanity, as it's a huge component of what makes body horror so gross and scary. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. I'd like to thank my patrons for making this video possible. For just a few bucks a month, you can tremendously help out this channel. Also, just likes, comments, and subscriptions do a lot to help my channel reach a wider audience. So thank you so much for watching until the end, and until next time, friends, stay spooky.